giving Preston a second. And, all right, we're all here.
Wait,
let's start. Let's start.
Just a second.
All right. And we're back. Took a few weeks off. We were pretty freaking busy, but we're back here again. And yeah, this is the LooneyBin Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Preston.
I'm Nick.
I'm Teddy.
And I'm Nate.
Henry's filling in for Nate on this episode today.
Yep.
And well, this week it is Nick ripping off the
word of the day coming at you fresh. Anodyne.
Anodyne.
ANODYNE. Anodyne. So what we do is we pick the Merriam-Webster word of the day. Everybody else gives a definition. Best definition, meaning closest definition, gets the point, and I get to decide it.
Guys, I think I might have this here.
Oh, so what is it? Episode 10 now, and you said that every single time?
All right, so haven't we all said that?
So true. We definitely have.
So it's episode 10. I'm going to get another point here. This might be my third point in a row. And I think I got it. Anodyne, makes you think of the periodic table, makes you think of a chemical, right?
Right.
And I'm thinking, did you guys ever have the activity in school where they dye your cafeteria lunch milk green or whatever, and then they dye your whole leprechaun themed?
Oh yeah, St. Patty's Day.
Is it like a
Patrick's Day?
Shamrock Shake kind of look, or no? Like when they dyed the milk green?
Yeah. It looks kind of like a Shamrock Shake, but it just tastes like milk.
Yeah. Let's rip that shake after
But the
we're done
chemical
with
that they put in to turn that stuff Irish green,
Yeah,
that's called anodyne.
that's okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So when you're drinking your green milk and you got your green eggs and ham, it's anodyne, baby.
Perfect.
Okay. So, loose affiliation Enneagram. But say the word again so I don't mispronounce it.
Anodyne?
Anodyne is
Hey, what, say it for the viewers real quick.
anodyne. Anodyne. Bubble boy. I would have to say it's some loose affiliation to it. It's actually a lower cost than what anagram is. It's so you don't have to pay anything for the anagram test,
Like
right?
what? No, you don't.
Okay, so it's a shorter test, 10 questions.
Okay.
And it actually gives you a loose kind of like where you're at, and is actually a plug for the Enneagram test. And
Alright.
so then you read those 10 questions. Like, if you want to continue this journey of who you are, maybe rip the Enneagram test and join us at this site.
So it's for if I don't have a half an hour on my hand?
Yeah, really. Time is money.
Speed run, really.
So true. Hey guys, we're going for the Enneagram
Speed
speed run.
run.
Here we go. And
Oh my god.
type 2, baby. Let's go.
No,
I said type 2 any percent. Like, you have to know what the answers are. Like, all right, so
I
you
bet
gotta get
that's
type 9 this time?
That
But
actually
that's
kind of
type 3
sick,
though.
though.
That would actually be insane. Oh
Type
my
2,
gosh.
80%.
Enneagram
Glitchless,
speedruns?
Guys, glitchless speedrun.
What was
Oh,
two
all right,
again?
I'm using
2
glitches.
is the caretaker. It's Nate.
Can I use?
You pass me my water
Wait. No amiibo. Any percent speedrun?
No. I feel honestly it would be probably a 3 because 3 is achievers, so they have to do the speed run. You know what I mean? And so it's either 3 or 7.
I mean, that'll
But,
be. We're gonna start doing gaming content pretty
open this
soon.
up.
That'll be our first speedrun series.
Right.
Is the Enneagram test.
Next is balls. Ever played the mobile game?
I can't open this up with one hand.
Balls? Yeah, it's just like what Nick plays all the time. It's like where you drag.
BB-Ton?
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
BB-Ton, but it's called. There's another app which is probably maybe more. It's the same
Is
scenario.
it Balls IO?
Yeah, it's something balls, and then you just try
There's
to
like a
get rid of the
billion of those
cubes.
games.
Yeah.
Wait, and you what? What do you do?
You try to get rid of the cubes, you want to get past the stage.
Oh
so
yeah,
then it's
like Breakout, like
Yeah.
Atari Breakout, like that's the OG of all of these games.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Huh. All right, Henry.
All right, what's the word? You lost me
Anodyne.
on this one.
Anodyne.
Anodyne.
Would you like me to spell it?
No, I'm good.
Oh, wonderful.
I think Henry could spell it.
Nope. I'm gonna have to go with Preston on this one. Definitely periodic table kind of crap,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it is a process that a mineral/metal goes through. Not sure which one.
But it is
But it is
A1.
a process
Yeah.
That-
of mineral
Probably
transformation.
smart. You know, all of our definitions are like oddly specific. You know, like we don't want the point, but
Henry came in this apartment tonight. He's like, "Man, I'm really tired," and then he hits us with that answer. I'm like, "Buddy, what are you?"
No, remember the last time you hit us with the one about the vegetables?
Oh my gosh,
the
yeah.
draining the vegetables. or
He's
whatever?
been thinking about this all day, though. You know what I mean? He's like, "Podcast tonight. It's
Yeah.
my time to shine." He's like,
Yeah.
he actually initiated the situation of
Yeah,
how
geez.
that happened.
he actually contacted Merriam-Webster. He picked this day, this word ahead, you know,
He
so he
says,
knew.
a little plug for LooneyBin
Yeah.
tonight. You
Said,
know,
thank you.
Who do you think Who do you think is Merriam-Webster?
I bet it's two.
I thought-
is it two different people?
I thought Miriam was separate
I
than
thought
Webster.
I thought that was a first person's name, Merriam.
They're two different people.
I thought it was the merging. I thought it was Webster's dictionary, and then like Miriam got added to it, or Merriam,
Huh.
depending on your
It's
pronunciation.
weird though that there's words still being added still to this day. You know what I mean?
Guys, what is a word?
You know exactly. And what constitutes as it being
Dude,
added in the dictionary?
This is oh my gosh!
Guys,
In my comm class right now, we're talking about this meaning and representation and language and signs and all this stuff. Like, the biggest thing that I brought up in class was this idea of, well, yeah, what did eBay mean 20 years ago? It meant nothing, you know.
really.
But then Google and Zillow and Instagram, like all these
It's like stop
catch
swearing
terms,
at me.
great,
Like,
that we
geez.
now know. But yeah, definitely, we're just starting to get into it, so there's not a whole lot I can bring. But I definitely was thinking about this, where we add meanings to things, but when we create new things, you're like, all right, this is the word. Again,
Right.
Yeah.
where, like
Yeah.
where? But now it's like, oh, universal. Snapchat, I know what that is. You know what I mean?
It's like swear words too. I mean, but we'll let Teddy answer because we're already going on the tangent here.
I can't believe it already took us
Alright,
10
well-
episodes to get into existential dread.
So anodyne is actually a slang term
Of course.
that
Of
people
course.
use when someone named Anna is dying.
Ah,
Anodyne.
anodyne.
So
Wow.
anodyne.
Southern.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the point.
Anna dying. I mean, that's 4 syllables. I mean, I don't have the. I
Creative.
might not have the time for
Yeah.
it, but
If John doesn't have time to take a
anodyne-
half-an-hour test, you sure as hell don't
There
have
we
to have time to say 4 syllables.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Anodyne.
Anodyne.
Well,
Anodyne.
Ted, it was a hell of an answer. And here's the definition: serving to alleviate pain. So I'm going to give it to Ted because the act of dying, the act of pain, he didn't necessarily alleviate,
Hey,
but at
wait,
least
wait.
was in the right
Wait.
ring there.
But
Wait,
I
wait,
mean, I am
what?
alleviating syllables off of my mouth.
But in my definition, I'm alleviating time, and time is money. And I'm saying anodyne. You know the test, 10-minute test. You don't have to take the 30-minute test. For the
But if you
anagram.
take the test, you won't die. But if you have pain, you might die. And I think that's my connection. Pain to death, time to pain.
no, no.
Just a figment of
Thank you, Henry.
Mm.
No, it
Henry, don't you have a mic? Oh, you have to take.
Henry
wait,
said,
wait.
"Is pain just a figment of our imagination, or does it constitute dying?" And so Henry opened the big door, and we'll probably close that door for right now. And, well, Teddy
Well,
gets a point.
I'm
Point
giving
where
it
you
to
want
Ted. I'm giving it to Ted.
Teddy with the
What's
comeback.
What's the scoreboard now?
I don't
That's in post.
know. Yeah.
Post will figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Post will figure that out. I think I have like, we don't even say numbers.
Yeah,
so
'cause
we're all
honestly, I
winners
don't
here.
know. Amen.
We go to
Amen.
Gustavus Adolphus College.
Grand and great. So, also being in this holiest of seats over here, I also get to bring the article of the day. And what I have just been thinking, hey, boys, let's give a conversation about this. So, I will start it off with a lovely little Reddit post here. And this is to Texas in this current state. That's what it says. Dear Texans, you are about to experience the worst potholes many of you have ever seen. Make sure your tire pressure is correct for your vehicles. Drive slowly. Give plenty of distance between your vehicle and the one in front of you. And don't trust puddles. Love from Michigan. So that obviously is related to just this absolute shutdown of Texas right now with just snowstorms that they haven't seen in generations, I'm sure. But then the article I have linking to that was Texas was 4 minutes and 37 seconds away from a blackout that could have lasted months, which is just nuts. I just like.
Did you guys know that Texas is on its own power grid? Which is probably why that's true. So there's like 5 main power grids in North America, and we are linked in one that's up with Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
What?
Yeah, and Texas is its own power grid.
Huh. That's nuts. And it doesn't go outside of Texas?
It actually doesn't even go the whole way of Texas. It like
What? Where's it going?
I follow this map guy on TikTok. Let me see if I can pull him up here. I'm not going to play the TikTok, but I'll basically, yeah, there's like just power. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like when you think about power, you just think like everything's like connected and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what a power grid actually is.
No, yeah. You think of your public utilities building in your town or near your town or whatever. You're like, oh, yeah, that's where electric bills go there and they send the power to you, you know?
At some point in the middle of the desert, all the power lines just stop. And that's where the cutoff is.
I actually have some interesting information on these power grid scenarios here. So, did you know that our power grid is expired by 15, 20 years? So they built the majority of the power lines and such in 1950 with a 50-year lifespan. So like 95% of our infrastructure on power is
just shit.
70 years old.
Jesus.
And they said they got to year 2000 and they were just like, well, hasn't broken yet.
It works. But yeah.
Planet hasn't exploded
there's some weird
yet.
stat where if like 5 major power things go down, that all of America would be shut off
Yeah.
Really?
for like months, and they'd have to rebuild the entire infrastructure
Just because it's so shit.
just because it's so shit.
I was going off of that, how things are outdated. A lot of these businesses, or would say these private companies, they really never get audited. From the article I was reading, never get audited until something like this happens, and they're like, "Oh yeah, these people need to get updated." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the same extent to now, where it's like, the conversation where should this be a private commodity, where like private businesses have this, or should it just be a public? You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so they were talking a lot about that, and they're just like net.
Okay, sweet.
There's the power grid, by the way.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous, and it's like. There's not really a priority for these things to get audited because they're like, hey, like this hasn't
Why would they audit
happened.
them?
Well, they're supposed to be like, is this obtained? Is this going to be like, what's their literally damage control plan? Like right now, like what is their damage control plan?
True.
And maybe we're just going completely off the rockers right here, but like, well, how is that not like at the top of priority of like power grid? Like, why are they not just making sure that every single year, maybe every other 3 months, that it's up to peak, performance, and that they have, everything's going by, whatever their book is. It's kind of intriguing because look at how many people are literally suffering. I mean, obviously it's like how many inches of snow was it? Like they're not prepared for it though.
Mm-hmm.
Like Minnesotans or North Dakotans, around the surrounding area definitely are, but it's different for people who never even see snow in their life.
True.
When they get it.
Mm.
So, yeah, this is gonna sound random, but there is a purpose with this.
Yeah.
So like, when there are power outages and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
how do gas stations still work?
I think
it's called a
do they have
reserve
their own-
generator.
They do have their own generators.
I mean, I would
and that kind of
assume.
stuff?
Yeah.
My
I believe it.
grandparents
Right.
are actually in Texas right now because they're snowbirds, and so
How ironic.
literally, and so
Brought the snow with them.
they actually were in their cars, like charging their phones and stuff in their cars,
No way.
and they're actually staying with a friend in the trailer park that had a reserve generator.
Mm. Yeah, you got to be prepared.
I
No
just
doubt
don't-
about that.
The thing
but
about that, I don't understand why they don't have power. Because
Yeah,
what's the
I was
difference
just
between
gonna ask.
between our generators or our just power
Yeah.
stuff, lines and stuff like that, and boxes and fuses and stuff? And what's the difference between that ours and theirs?
I
Are they
question
built
that.
differently,
No,
or like
it
is-
was so faulty.
Yeah, it
just
has to
because
be.
I mean,
It
yeah,
was
that's
so
the-
dated.
all the
It was
pipes
so
and
dated.
like that's
Like,
the
up
simple
here,
answer, but I'm just like,
like-
is it really that easy that they just aren't equipped for?
Yeah.
They never
Snow?
predicted
That's
it.
it.
They
Because
just
it's
probably
like-
never predicted it.
They never imagine in Texas that all the water lines and that kind of stuff are gonna freeze.
Yeah.
True.
That's nuts.
So like,
So they probably just made them out of a
just
cheaper
don't have-
material
yeah,
that
they
was just
don't have
easier
as
to.
heavy duty, I imagine.
Yeah.
Which literally leads to what we were talking about prior before auditing. It's like, why would you not audit this for, high, extreme weather? Like they get like sometimes hurricanes come through there. Like how would a hurricane withstand these power lines? Like or how these power lines withstand a hurricane and snow wouldn't? Or
Well,
just a
I
cold.
feel like they don't though. I feel like hurricanes still shut down power. I feel like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. But I'm like, if they were thinking
like,
about that, why didn't they
I-
think about everything
repairing-
else?
I feel like repairing wiring also is a lot easier than fixing something if it goes wrong with the entire thing in general.
Have you guys ever been in a tornado?
Oh yeah,
Not in, but near.
yeah. I've been near. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say in.
Yeah.
A tornado touched down on my high school football field when I was
In the high school?
no, I was 7, so I was in the
Oh.
elementary school. It was during the day actually. We had to get out of class and we actually had to do the tornado drill.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah, for like a good hour or something like that, hour and a half.
Wow, that brings. Oh, sorry, Ted.
I remember back in like first grade, I took Taekwondo with my buddy Chris and then just some other random people, and it was in the elementary school. And then one time there was a tornado going around, so we all had to go into the bathrooms. And then I remembered I broke my board and got either my yellow belt or my yellow stripes in a teacher's bathroom.
You said, "Take
Wow.
that tornado! You're not stopping me."
I
from
thought you were
achieving
gonna
greatness."
say
Time again.
you unlocked a new chi and your power caused a tornado. He said,
So
"I'm
Teddy, you did
ultimate
Taekwondo.
master."
Yeah, I mean, to this day, I have a yellow belt with green stripes.
So you stopped at yellow, huh?
There it is.
What made you stop? What made you start? Can I ask you that?
Give us a whole layout,
I feel like kids that Teddy, you're a great guy. But
guys. If if he had to
Great
say,
clip.
Teddy, you're a great guy, a goofy guy, that you know what's coming. It's
Yeah.
gonna hit like a mother.
so I know that Nate did Taekwondo, and that's self-explanatory because he was
Yeah.
homeschooled.
That's Ben's.
But you were in
That's
public school.
homeschooled.
you were in public school, Teddy, and you played baseball. You lived such a normal life, and then you go ahead and do Taekwondo. So
Wait.
what drove you to that madness?
My
Karate
Your sister
kid?
wasn't it your sister?
she also did it.
All right, so I knew the answer.
Yeah, yeah, you did. You did.
Okay, he's closed.
Yeah, like my friend Chris, my sister, my mom, and my friend Chris's mom. We were all in it.
Wait, there was like a mommy son.
Daddy daycare, Eddie Murphy.
Guys.
So there was a mommy and baby bitch day at
Oh,
Taekwondo.
there it is.
I said the funniest. Yeah. Someone mute the mic on press right now. There is a.
No, seriously though.
But yeah, I mean, that was it.
Like your mom. Your mom.
Bubble boy.
What? Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Wait. So
Hey.
literally?
Just whatever mental image you have for it,
Yeah.
that's what it looked like.
Of course,
And it was
of course.
just as uncomfortable for me as it was.
Yeah, you stuck with it, Ted. Though you stuck with it to get the dang yellow Green Bay Packer belt. Do they just go with Green Bay colors?
No,
Or
No,
maybe that's why.
the stripes
Stop.
are like the different. Like it's not just yellow and then green. You have to like do the different steps.
Okay, so then Ted, did you stop just because of like I hit yellow and green? Got to go with
Oh,
my
this
hometown
guy-
pride.
I don't know if it was just the area or whatnot, but I imagine this guy wasn't making a lot of money doing this in Grantsburg, so he just either moved somewhere else or he just stopped doing it in our area
Guys,
for whatever reason.
you always go to the YMCA. Whatever.
No,
There's
I
a
don't.
There's a Taekwondo guy. He was bald, had a white goatee, right?
Yeah.
And as a kid, I'd go in the male locker room, and he was always showering naked, just nuts, just absolutely nuts.
Big,
he just,
big schlong.
Big
You ju-
nuts.
I
Hanging
don't
nuts?
remember, but I just remember feeling embarrassed for myself. I don't know why. He was
Were you
just
feeling
sitting-
second embarrassment for
Dude,
him?
Yeah,
okay.
I think probably what it was. And he was just sitting there showering for probably 30 minutes, and he would walk around the locker room just completely naked. And I remember just sitting there like, What?
So right, exactly. So
Like, we
what
can do
changes?
that?
No.
Yeah.
What changes? What changes when you get older beyond just the I just don't care anymore? Like where your confidence is just I don't need a towel. I don't need. I'm gonna go to my boxers. I'm gonna walk across. I see the kids.
Not even
I know
boxers.
they're in here.
Not even boxers. He just is
No, I know.
flaunting. He
That's
just
what
is
I'm
flaunting
saying.
at
You're
that
walking to your box,
Oh.
not with your boxers.
Yeah,
on.
right.
So you're saying at what point in my life am I
Right.
going to change from putting the towel on and
Exactly.
blah, and
Like
then-
it's a big. Oh my gosh, guys! I hope nobody's looking.
I
you
really
know?
think it's once you start graying and once you start getting those wrinkles, you just don't give a fuck. And you're just like,
who
I
am I
already
trying
look
to
like shit.
impress?
Yeah, I already
Yeah,
look like
that's
shit.
true.
So what's it matter? You know?
The gray is the sign. Get rid of the
Battery's
towel.
running low.
Batteries running low on what? The computer?
Laptop, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll plug it in.
All right. So
All
we
right,
should
so
plug it
where's
in.
the plug in?
So I'll go plug it in. But
Okay.
First of all, I have to say this.
Yeah.
From the audience, first one to comment picks what we talk about.
Are we doing it?
Yeah, we're in.
All right,
So
we're back.
Start recording.
Uh,
start
the computer
streaming,
shit
everything's
itself.
in.
Yeah, computer died. We
You spilled half your damn beer in your.
I don't drink beer. I drink water. And
That's Heineken alcohol free.
Yeah,
beer.
alcohol free. Yeah.
Did you
We
ever
just
see those
forgot-
commercials?
Yes. Why was it airing during the Super Bowl? Like
And
what the hell?
Oh yeah, that's the one we saw. And then they were like drink and drive or something.
Right,
like that.
right.
And you're
You
like,
know, for-
why is
for
that like
pregnant moms and those
Yeah,
driving
like,
home late at night?
Why
You know,
is
it's
that
like
the thing
why-
you want to
who-
advertise?
But also, who desires a beer flavor without
no,
alcohol?
exactly. No, no. It's like great taste. Like no. It's a great
like-
taste for a reason.
It's like I'm not drinking coffee
right.
without the caffeine. I'm
Yeah.
drinking coffee for the caffeine. I just somehow grown myself to like the flavor.
Right. Like, who came up with that idea? That was like, all right, we're in the executive room. They're like, here's the next thing in alcohol.
Drink
Not
and drive.
alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not alcohol, and you can drive to your soccer
Right,
game
right.
as you're picking up the kids because you didn't go.
You
to
know
the
what you
freaking
should
soccer
do at
game.
this point? You should
What?
just fill up the alcohol into the alcohol-free one. You're like, look, officer.
Yeah.
And they go, this really tastes like no.
He said,
there's
yeah,
no
then
alcohol in
blow.
here."
You go. I gotta do that.
When,
All
when
right,
they
well-
come in here and they're like, oh,
I
there
said,
must
I
be
just- I just
beer in
use
these pong
mouthwash.
cups, you know? They're like,
But-
oh, they must be. Pong must insinuate beer, and it's like, no, we just love the sport, you know? We're doing that.
Just fans of the sport.
Yeah,
Guys,
just fans
but-
of the sport.
Like, what's next? Non-beer alcohol? What are they gonna do?
That's just pop.
Yep. That's root beer.
Hey,
A&W.
I really had to wrap my brain around that comment. Non-beer alcohol, and that's just like anyone else just really, yeah, literally.
Well, okay, but the other thing, now this is way beyond our generation. This is way before us.
Mhm.
But the whole campaign about new Coke, how Coca-Cola came out, I think it was 80s, where there's like, we're redoing the flavor, we're redoing everything, you know?
Right.
And the people are like, it was so bad. Like the flavor was bad and the campaign was bad. And they're like, why did you change Coke? Like this thing has been here for, millennia. And people speculate that it was a fake campaign.
Really?
They made it so that everybody's like, what the heck?
Oh,
And
so
then they
it starts
went
the hubbub
back.
about-
Exactly. And then when they went back to regular Coke, and they're like, it's back, regular Coke. You're just like,
hell
oh,
yeah.
finally.
And then everyone in the executive board's like, we didn't change a thing.
Right. Right. This was all the expired stuff. All right. So I don't know. Maybe there was a ploy there. Maybe we're all being played by Heineken right now.
Well, was it not Coke that, put some sort of drug? Was it cocaine, right?
Yeah. That's how it was made.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah, back in like the 1800s or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Or
And
like
it was
1890s, 1920s.
More medicinal than a beverage to enjoy.
Because what was the reason again? Because they wanted people to get hooked on it, or what?
I have no
I
idea.
thought it was what Nick
think
said,
it
that
was
it first started off as like a
medicinal.
remedy or some sort of more medicinal practice where they would say, all right, drink this, numb the pain, you'll feel better. But really it was just cocaine.
Oh.
Then that's why it's called Coca-Cola.
Right, so it worked,
So
but
now
then they're
since-
like, all right, so I don't know if we can sell this kids. Then eventually it's like, wow, I like the Coke flavor, not the Coke flavor, you know
That
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
They go, hey, Timmy, why are you itching in class today?
Yeah.
I don't know, Billy.
And I
said,
had my
I'm
Diet
cured.
Coke. You ever see those kids? Like, I remember that in kindergarten, or not
Yeah,
kindergarten,
those kids.
but in elementary, there'd be like a chance to bring your own pop to, class,
Oh,
I remember, yeah.
And then there was a few kids that would come in with a Diet Coke, and I'm like, "What are you missing out, bud? Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't
Like, what are you,
understand.
40?
Yeah, like literally. You
Like,
trying
so
to
where's
lose
the
weight?
man parked out
You
back?
got 30 years ahead of
Yeah.
you, buddy.
You
You can
addic-
afford the sugar.
Enjoy the youth.
You addicted to aspartame? Like, jeez. Like, I just didn't understand. I'm sitting there, with a Fanta or maybe a Barks root beer.
Oh yeah,
And then
classic.
they're ripping a Diet Coke, and I'm like, oh, so you hate your taste buds? Like,
But,
you're like,
but
what do you want?
here's the real question though. The kid shows up. He's wearing a Fox hat. He's got an I heart boobies
Boobies.
bracelet on,
I Heart
and it
Boobies.
goes I drink Monster. That's right. He pulls out a
He's got
nice
the
little
Osiris's on.
Yeah,
Oh,
Osiris, thank
baby,
you.
you know
Deep
he
cut.
does. You know he
DC,
does.
maybe. Even
DC,
Yeah.
exactly.
The Osirises were the lip
Huh?
of the shoe is so
Oh,
fat.
yeah.
Yeah, you could just. I wanted to chew on it.
I know.
It looked like he already did.
It looks like a
come
piece
on.
of steak. Just-
Yeah.
I would rather rip Minnetonka slippers every single day of my life instead of ripping
Man, I wear
Osiris.
yeah.
slippers.
Where it's like, what do you got, clogs on? No, they're actually even better.
Yep. But that's where it started, Those kids that you all know who it was. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys
Yep.
saw the image.
The
but-
Cookie Monster shirt.
Yeah.
Dylan McLean, all the Dylans ripped them. All the Dylans in my high school
Because I
ripped
never
them.
named my kid Dylan.
I know, and they all spelled a different way too. And if I ever named my kid Dylan, that was Dilan, I'd probably just be like,
Dilan?
yeah.
That's
I thought it was
gross.
crazy. Dilon. Dilan?
Oh, yeah, get out of
Wait,
here.
what about DILLON though?
Yeah, so what about
Oh my gosh.
DIX exclamation point 69? And
Gamer tag. I just named my
Yep.
kid a gamer tag,
Yep.
real quick. Juan Talent.
I
Juan Talent
said
14.
Adam right now, guys.
Yeah.
Send him a message.
Oh my god. It's just like, that's some of the times where it's just, especially in the same area. They all grew up in the same area. These people, because they stayed in the
These
same
people.
town.
People.
These people who named their kid as
I think he's
Dylan.
used that expression twice now.
These people, and they still lived in Jamestown. They're actually graduates from freaking Jamestown High School, and they ripped their kid's name Dylan. Like, they should be friends, or at least have people on Facebook or MySpace at the time, and just be like, oh, I just named my kid Dylan. Great idea. Let me spell it a different way. Just be a little quirky, like what? Where do you get that? Like, I don't.
Do you guys have names for your guys' kids?
Yeah, I do.
What's your names?
Charles is one. James, I like James a lot.
James.
Peter, I do enjoy Peter for
Biblical
for a
names,
girl.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles.
And-
first
Yeah,
prophet.
yeah. First book.
But the
Book of Charles.
Genesis
Book of
will
Charles.
be the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
So get over your revelations.
Yeah, get over your revelations.
Hey, Philippian. Get over here. Philip.
Wait, Psalm
Habakkuk.
1 or 2? Which one is it? I don't remember. You're gonna
Yeah,
have...
literally.
Wait. How many kids, John?
Yeah,
What many do you want?
Well,
I mean, you've listed like 4 names, so
Yeah.
three for sure.
Three
I think
kids.
I would enjoy 3. Everyone's like, oh, one's left out, but no, I think 3 would be a fun number.
I was one of 3.
Right, and if man, whatever they just gender. they
And I
choose
felt
to
left
be.
out.
A female, name. I don't know what. I have a few, but they can't.
Really,
come
I
to
have more
mind.
female names than
I
boy
can't
names.
remember. I think.
Emmy, Emma, Emily, any of those. I mean, they're all good.
Emerson. That's what it is.
Emerson.
Emerson. Thank you. That's my top.
My cousin just named his firstborn son Emerson.
Emerson with a Y though in it. I like the
Ooh,
Emerson with the
interesting.
Y.
All right, don't turn into a Dylan on me, John.
I-O-A-N.
Emerson, and then
Here's the thing.
I can't
If
remember the other one.
if you are the parent that is like, we'll just put a little spin on it, then for their
Emerson with an
entire-
X.
Then for their entire life, your kid is just like always having their name misspelled. They can't find their name on a thing in a gift shop. Nothing like that.
You ever think about like
because you
Elon
decided
Musk?
to be
kid?
trendy.
Right, but the other thing about that, though, I thought about, I saw a chart just the other day, one of those most popular
Kid name per year
kid
or
name,
something?
yeah, where I just went through, and I don't know. I feel like if I looked at that and I looked at my year and I'm like, oh yeah, Nicholas was number 1, I'd be like, that's kind of depressing,
Right.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just not that unique of a name. Now, when I agree when it comes to spelling, we're like, let me just make that E and A, and not worry about the pronunciation. That's just like, okay, it'll never be spelled right, and thanks. But I do think having unique names.
I haven't. I would say my name's more unique than a lot of your guys's. I will say that.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
names? What names?
Oh, I was just gonna say Preston in general, because I'm the. I feel like
Oh.
I've known only 2 Prestons in my life.
I've only known 3. Yeah.
2.
Preston count?
2.
Teddy, Preston count?
2.
I don't.
I think you're the only Preston I've met.
It's a weird name for me. I don't know. I don't
It's
like.
a last name.
Yeah, like the Preston.
Guys, people have 2
like,
first names. I have 2 last names.
Like Preston. Like it's just weird.
That is weird.
Thanks, John.
No,
No, but-
nothing against it.
I was just
nothing
saying
against
that.
it.
No, yeah, I have enjoyed having a little unique name. I will say that. But no, I have more girl names than guy names. I have 3 girl names. I have Francine, Ruby, and Michelle. Those are my 3 names.
Michelle is coming back. My aunt's named Michelle, but I think more people coming out. Not coming out, but whatever. People having kids. I've seen that name grow a little bit more. Michelle or what's it like Leia or Leah? Like that name coming out a little more.
Did you just think
Princess.
that Leah was Leia?
No, Leah or Leia. I was
Leia?
quote,
Like
unquote,
actual Leia?
Leia? I've
Like
seen it.
Leaihh, whatever how you spell it?
Well, okay, so
Leia.
maybe
Leia.
this is definitely like a TikTok name, but like I've been seeing people's like their profile names as like something Leia spelled the same way, which is
I
like
mean, it could be pronounced differently. I mean,
right.
Leia.
Leia. Why not?
so what's your number, Preston? How many kids?
Yeah, I'm thinking 3 or 4, honestly. But 4 is the number where you have to upgrade your vehicle.
Yeah.
Ooh, true.
So it's a very like, all right, so are we committed or not?
See,
Right.
3 in a sense you can space it out to where like you have 2 right off the bat, and then you're like, oh, decide to have another one. But there is that age gap, which is kind of what your parents did.
Yeah,
in a sense.
my oldest sister is 8 years older than me. My next sister is 3 years older than me.
Right. And
So there's
personal experience.
5
do you
years,
mind
3
that?
years.
Do you-
Well,
do you-
my
like-
older sister's definitely very older. Like I do feel like she's definitely older than me. But my other sister, my middle sister, she seems. I mean, I feel like we were definitely closer.
Oh, yeah.
Closer.
3 years is close.
Yeah. I didn't mind it.
I would say if you're in high school at the same time, that's close. So I would
So
say that.
you're
Yeah,
in
my,
the
my
same-
sister drove me to high school every day, freshman year.
Oh,
when
yeah.
she was a senior.
Megan was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
Kelsey was in college when I was in 4th grade. Because she was 18 and I was 10.
That's crazy.
Wow.
See, that's kind of. I don't know if I would. I maybe try to close
But
the
also I'm
gap
the youngest,
a little bit differently. But I have. It's not like a. I don't know how do you say it, but I really would enjoy twins. Like I don't know how much. Like I've
What
always.
would you enjoy about twins?
I don't know. Yeah, like
Just matching their outfits?
obviously you can't choose it, but
Twins,
like
boy and
I
girl.
think twins
or
would
two
be
girls,
such a
two
fun.
boys.
I would think boy or girl or girl. Like any one would be cool. But
and
I
a
think
combo. Well, I'm a twin.
that is true. I
Right.
always forget that, Nick. I always forget that.
It's
Mhm.
definitely weird when you bring it up and people are like, "Oh, well, she go here?" And go, "No." What? You think that
What?
that's just
Yeah.
what twins do? They just go wherever. They have to be connected at all times.
No.
No, that's not what it is. No, it's
Yeah,
a
it is
li-
for some people.
It's a little different in my situation because she does have special needs.
Right.
So she's kind of doing her own.
Is she in one of those like special needs like programs where they put
Programs,
them
yeah.
into like they give them a job and stuff?
Yeah, like exactly learning life skills and
Yeah.
how to.
Oh, so
know.
like what do you call it? Between house or what
Do you
say?
do you,
No,
do you have a
it's like at a school.
do you have like an
Oh.
assistant for her? Nick?
No, it's not.
My cousin did that.
Yeah, it's not that much of a disability. It's just
Mm.
more of a learning disability than anything else. Learning and social disability.
Right.
I'd love to see. I don't know if I've ever seen a picture of you and your sister before. How identical are you? Biological twins or no?
Wait,
that?
what?
No, what's
What?
that? Sorry. Cancel that out. What is the term?
Someone
There's
clip
two
that?
different.
It's
just two
identical and
yeah.
fraternal.
Thank you.
There's actually more types of twins, but
Is there really?
yeah. But I think
So-
those are subcategories of the 2 main categories.
So, the difference between like fraternal and then identical is like.
Oh, they're definitely not identical if they're
Yeah.
different.
Right.
Because
But they were born at the same time.
well,
It's for-
identical twins are made from the same egg. The egg splits and then they're blah blah blah. And then fraternal is when 2 gets dumped down the fallopian tubes. If we want to get into
Okay.
it.
Okay, so which one are you, Nick? Identical or fraternal?
That's my sister.
Did we already answer that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
You can't be an identical twin if you're not the same gender.
Right. Well,
All
I
right,
wish
Ted,
I
how
would
about
pay
your names?
attention.
And number, name.
Teddy, don't drop
no
it.
thought.
Don't drop that you're a twin on us right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or have you not put any thought to it? That's okay if you
I
haven't.
haven't really put any thought to it.
No, that's
I mean,
okay.
Probably, I feel like 2 kids would be good, but that's also what I grew up with.
Right.
I mean, I didn't grow up with 2 kids, but
Oh shit.
but I don't know. Probably Theodore Blaze the second.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
going for a Teddy Jr.? A TJ?
Junior.
A TJ?
Oh, TJ, you might have to.
Theodore Blaze, like
TJ Warren?
what a name,
Bubble hero?
like Blaze. You know, like
Bubba Gump.
Is that an Italian name?
Blaze.
It's my dad's name, and he's very Italian. So I
Must be.
Was he a thug? Like back, like, jeez Louise, like
East Coast.
Yeah,
I mean,
East Coast. No, I'd even say. No, yeah, exactly. East Coast. Yeah, I would definitely say that. You know, Boston. He's
Yeah, I wouldn't
watch
say
out.
that.
Watch out for that Blaze guy. You know, he's gonna put you in the back of the
I mean,
trunk of your
otherwise-
caddy.
I've got my uncle Aldo. or
oh
my-
yeah.
Oh my
That's a
God.
great. That's a
My
great name.
grandpa Vincent.
Teddy.
Oh,
Vinny.
Vinny.
Teddy.
That's
Teddy,
great.
what are your Christmas and like Thanksgiving like when it's not
It's a
COVID?
lot
Is
of
it just
hair.
a
It's a
bunch
lot
of
of hair and grease.
pizzas?
A lot of-
A bunch of pizzas, you know, mozzarella.
Lasagna?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lasagna.
Hey, quit complaining. Your mother just made the
Yeah.
sauce. Jesus Christ.
Don't
Get
you
in
guys know
the
to make
kitchen.
anything else?
Unfortunately,
I was just thinking of the
unfortunately
Uncut
for-
Gems scene when they're having that whole charade, you know.
Alright, so-
Unfortunately for the family Christmases and all that kind of stuff,
Are they not
They-
in Wisconsin?
yes.
they're in Italy.
On
Boston?
Italy.
Boston?
In the
Are you saying
homeland.
Boston?
they live in the bottom of the Coliseum.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
But they're all on the East Coast. Well, most of them are. Some are on the
I
West
knew
Coast.
it.
Where do their ties
So can I ask
lie?
this again, Teddy? Not again, but can I ask this, preface this? So why your dad just said Wisconsin? It's a place for me. I went to Iowa,
Doctor, right?
and that's close enough.
It's kind of like with Henry's dad.
He got
Mm-hmm.
this kind of deal through. I don't know what group it was. Wait, was it the
Boy Scouts?
I have no idea. You tell me.
National
It
Guard?
wasn't through the Boy Scouts. It was
I think it might have been the National
Um,
Guard.
No, he just joined it recently.
some kind of health organization that was like, hey, if you go be a doctor in this underserved area,
Right.
where there aren't a lot of doctors, we'll pay your loans,
Huh.
and that kind of stuff.
That's actually pretty
So-
smart of
It's a
the
great
government.
deal.
Whoever puts that on.
So, and then, from what little I've talked to my dad about it, he was like, well, we'll just be here for a few years until just the loans are paid and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll go somewhere else. And here we are.
Guys, I've been seeing those that trend on TikTok where it's talking about like just like what parents do. Like you know how you know your parents, but you don't actually know your parents. You ever realize that?
Yeah.
You're just like
Yeah,
you had a whole different life before
Yeah,
me.
I know. You know them through their responsibility of you.
Yeah,
you
through the
know?
lens of being
Yeah.
your parent.
Right. No, it's definitely nuts. Like you see, one of the strangest stories I ever heard was my dad and I. We used to go to Vikings training camp when it was at
Eden
MSU.
Prairie?
When it
Oh.
was at MSU. So
I've been once.
we would go there. They've been doing it there for last 30 years. I mean, that's just where the Vikes always went, and they'd stay in the dorms, and that was just the whole experience. And so we'd go there, and this
Oh,
is
what a
what
shitty experience.
Oh, dude, I
In the
know. I don't know
dorms.
how.
I don't want to play the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't
I'm
know
worried
how.
about getting an STD.
But
there.
I mean, those dorms have been since
You ever think
destroyed,
some kid
but-
has that dorm that's like, Randy Moss slept in this damn bed?
No, okay. I mean, it's got to be possible,
great
but there's no way they would know. There's
admission.
What if
literally
he
no
signed
way
a
they
brick
would
though? What if
Dude.
he's like, this is Randy's bed?
know. No,
Dude,
there's
that would
no
have
way.
been great. That would have been so
Dude,
great, though.
could you imagine being a pro NFL football player? You bring a girl over. She's like, "Oh, where's your place?" "Oh, yeah, no, it's during spring training
Well,
right now,
see,
so don't worry about that. We're in the dorms."
I don't
even worry
Great
about that.
admissions pitch, though.
I
you know
just
what I
don't-
mean?
yeah.
Like,
You know,
literally,
we
you want to
stand
sleep
here.
in the same bed as Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
You wanna
Like, no, I don't. I really don't.
I said I'm leaving.
It's uneven. It seems inconsistent.
Yeah.
You're inconsistent.
You want to sleep in the same bed as Christian Bonder? Well,
Yeah.
now you can.
Percy, I was sleeping the same bed as Percy Harvin. I'm getting these migraines.
I
I'm
feel like there's no way the big names were there. You know what I mean? I feel like,
Adam Thielen.
I was like, you drive me in. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, they'll probably be in.
Adam
Minneapolis
Thielen
or whatever,
railed
but
at that school. You
but
all
anyhow.
know. You all know. he
Okay, so
railed.
So we were there, and this was during the AP, Jared Allen, the Williams brothers. I mean, just golden era.
this is just
Really.
literally the golden
2008,
I said, just
2009.
the greatest seasons of all time. And we went there on one of the like Thursday, Friday in their week or whatever, and all of a sudden, it's the fan day where you go down. Brad Childress comes over. I go, Brad, sign my paper, or whatever. I was like,
Your mustache saves lives.
he said, you're insane. And we do our thing and sign it, and we're walking away, and my dad goes, yeah, I know, this isn't the first time I've been here, And I go, oh, that's cool. He goes, yeah, no, there was one time where I came here with your mother, and I went to get a beer real quick. I look back, and she's standing over there talking to Randy, and I go, what? He goes, yeah, because at this point, you're like, as a child,
Right.
you don't think of your parents in that way.
No.
You
No.
don't.
You
And
never
she goes,
have.
You're like,
she
you've
was
always
sta-
been a parent
she
your
goes,
whole life. You came out of the womb
Ex-
as a parent.
Exactly. And
Even if I wasn't there, you were a parent.
Exactly. And it's like the idea that she was sitting over in the end zone and all the wide receivers are talking to her. There's two thoughts there. One, I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. The other thought is, damn, I could have not had, my father. It could have been a whole other situation.
You could
I could have been Randy
you could be half
Moss's
black right now.
I could be Randy Moss's illegitimate son. But yeah, right. But that's just one of those weird things where, like, you don't think that they go to the games. You don't think that they're like, I mean, just a whole nother life, which is just crazy. Just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Any stories from the rest of the boys about parents and their youth?
I have some, but I'll let John go.
Okay. I just think it's weird that I think my parents got when my dad was like 30, 31, something in my eyes, a lot older when right now, we're searching. But and it's like, man,
Wait, who's
10
that?
years
Searching?
10
Yeah,
years
yeah.
of losing. 10 years of losing, am I right? But
Oh my gosh.
just right in between there. But like, so they met. Like, my dad somehow makes it up in Jamestown, North Dakota, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just because he saw this job, he's from Fargo-Moorhead area, which is only 100 miles west, is Jamestown, right? And so they meet at like a dance, like a dance lesson. They're teaching
Why do
people how to
parents always
dance.
meet at dances?
I don't know, but it's just as like
We should go to more dances.
the idea. I kid you not. Like, in my head as a younger kid, it was just like the idea of dating at age 30 or something was just so weird. And thinking about a kid, like, that is legit 8 years after going after college. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just think that's so astounding. I guarantee you, my parents, if they ever watch this, you can probably quote me on this, but I guarantee they only had sex twice. Me and my sister. Like, I guarantee you that.
Your
like,
dad's shooting 100% from the field?
dude, I kid you not. Like, I wouldn't
Just wait
doubt
till they
it.
break the truth to you.
He's just
It was
so-
every night, buddy.
Oh my God, yeah, who knows? But I just think it's super weird that
I think
it's
they know.
obviously fantastic parents. I mean, love them to death, but like the age 30.
And your mom
something-
was married before your dad.
Yeah, she was. She was definitely. She was not even a year. She married
That's
the guy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And
That is a
they
past
didn't.
life. Holy cow.
My mom. They never told me that.
yeah, when was like the first time you got hit with that news? And you're like, holy shit.
Actually, get this. So the guy ended up dying, right?
Oof.
So he ended up passing away.
Wait. So
from
it wasn't a divorce?
complication.
Like the dude literally died a year into their marriage?
No. It
was
was a
like, holy shit,
divorce.
that'd be
It
a-
was a divorce, but it was never spoken of, and it was always a topic within like our family that like my grandma mentioned to me once when I was like 12, 13, and
She's
it was just
slipping
as,
you
like,
the potatoes at Thanksgiving. She's
Literally.
like, hey, take this, John. I'll see your mom get a divorce.
Yeah, literally.
Thanksgiving.
Literally.
And also, he's
And it was
All
something
right.
that I never should.
Just really-
It was definitely something that I
Dad,
never
what did you do?
like not that I questioned, but it was just as like, I'm not gonna bring that up. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just kind of like, okay, that moment, and I let it go. The guy ended up dying, was it a heart attack or something like that? And the funeral came up, and then my mom decided she didn't go to the funeral at all, but she
Like,
she decided to told us, and I was like, I swear to God, I was like 12 to 13 years old. She was, I was actually married before. And I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, both of us were like, what? And it was just kind of wild. And once that was kind of leveled down, I was talking to my grandma about it, and it was
So
Like your mom's mom?
How long? How
That's
long?
history.
probably a year. They were
year.
They were married a year, and it was bad because like they didn't have the parents'
approval.
Yeah, it was definitely like a source of conflict there, which is interesting because that's not my mom, like at all. Like from what I know her and as I know her now, like she definitely would try to be, you know, within her lane and such. But that was definitely weird. So that adds to that, like they didn't get married, my parents, until, you know, whatever. And I remember sitting there for some conversations. There's just some arguments once in a while. That doesn't really happen often, but like once it did. I remember my dad dropped a line just like, well, this is the same reason why we almost didn't get married or something like this. Like,
Jesus.
it was one line. Like, they're 100% solid, like, easily.
No, yeah, for sure.
But it was definitely a comment that was like, oh, so you guys are on the fender about it? And it was just intriguing that, like, I don't know. I just think it's just weird that they hit it off from a dance thing, you know, like, you know, dance partners. And a part of me also, trying to go on a tangent here, but I also wish I was the same way. You know, going to an event where there's a lot of people there, not a party, but like something, and then you hit it off from there, and you're kind of just, you know, enjoying the moment, and you see where it goes. Like, just a date is a date, you know?
Right.
Now, I think we think more into it. I definitely do. And like, if there's a date, you know, I'm always thinking, you know, you're thinking further along the line, you're thinking like, oh, then we're, you know, an item or something like that. But
Right.
that was just going out, spending time with someone.
Yeah, and then if you enjoyed it, you're like, hey, can I get your phone number?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll call you sometime next week.
Exactly.
I'll fax you.
Call was a key word.
Yeah.
And it's like, I almost wish that was, instead of asking for a snap and then starting a streak and then being afraid to ever
Ugh,
bring up a
Snapchat's
conversation.
the worst.
No, literally, that's our whole generation. But I think that's what I most get about that. A lot of, even when I was, you know, dating Emma, her parents they were only seeing each other for 6 months. At that age, 30 years old, I think you just know if you're gonna want to live with them or not. During that time, and that's the same with my parents. They weren't dating for a year, I don't think.
But here's the
I think my
question
parents
then.
stayed for 2 years.
At the year mark, if they die within the next, let's say 5 years, but you end it, is that enough time where you should go to the funeral? Because a year's a long time.
Oh, you're talking about my mom, and this is in like.
I just in a general sense.
Oh.
If you're in the situation,
If I was in that
if you were
situation,
married for a year,
It depends.
got divorced, few years pass, and then you get a notice
Depends if
about the
they're
funeral.
toxic.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the parent. Yeah,
My
my
mom would say that it was when she does
Yeah.
talk about it. It was definitely like.
Like, I don't know
Not
if the
like he
family
was a
wanted me there or
drunk.
something like that.
Or
Oh,
he
that's
was like,
true.
you know,
That's true.
Even the family, or even the fact that like. My mom says that he treated her badly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like interesting
yeah,
because like
and-
so like I wonder if I don't think she ever wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm not even reflecting it upon
My
your
person-
right.
okay,
Exactly.
okay.
It's like if we were in the situation, assume that it ended, you know, just because of
Whatever.
we're just not the same people that we were a year
Yeah,
ago,
for
or
sure.
whatever. I agree, though. I agree with the idea that I think it comes down to the family.
Yeah,
Because more than anything, that's a son and a father
Yep.
potentially than a spouse. I
Yep.
think that probably
I
takes
would.
priority.
I would definitely be like, man, I'm very sad right now, and blah blah. Maybe this could help me out, but I would definitely think, you know, yeah, that's definitely someone's kid. So it's
Yeah.
like,
And that's way more important, and you know, some people can argue that, but I agree. I think a brother or a son.
I always think about that. I always think about like having a kid die, or it's just like,
I can't
'cause
imagine.
actually one of my good friends that lived down the block from me. I don't know if I've told you guys this, but one of my good friends down the block from me died when he was 10 from childhood cancer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, his name was Kyle, and yeah, that was just a weird time in my life. And yeah, I got nothing else to say besides that. But
I relate to that a little bit. There is a neighbors that I've ever known growing up. The mom, I used to be friends with the son, and they had other kids, and I'd rip Legos over there, whatnot, and the mom died. They thought she had the flu, just died unexpectedly, just crazy, and that was the first. Around age 8, like my grandpa died, which was pretty hard. Whatever. That was the first time I experienced death. But that was before that, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. And that was so weird. It was, for me, it was the idea that they're never going to be there. It was just so, it was such a concept that I couldn't fathom it. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like you have to get out of the routine, but it was just as like, I was always scared of it though. And not like ghosts or anything like that, but it's just as like, I was just scared. I couldn't tell you why though.
And how old were you when that?
I mean, younger than 8.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was just like, and then every time, you know, for at least a 3-month span, every time I got sick, I'd be afraid this person got, you know. I was definitely a young child, like a young kid that was afraid of everything.
That's traumatizing.
Yeah, that is
sure.
nuts for sure. My grandparents definitely didn't. I had 2 grandparents die in the same year, and that was my junior year of high school, and that was like my first, like,
double whammy
experience of like having a family member die, because I had my uncle die, like when I was like 12, but I wasn't really close to him, so like it didn't really hit me. And honestly, when I was at the funeral, it didn't really hit me. And I was supposed to play piano at my grandma's funeral. I forgot the fucking music. And I literally wanted to kill myself that day because I forgot the music for my grandma's funeral. So we had to like pull up a recording of like, luckily I already recorded this piece like that. So we like pulled the recording and play it. So like, it was fine. But, like, but like in my head, the 12-year-old kid or 16 or whatever. I don't know why I said 12. But yeah, it was definitely just like, what the fuck? But it definitely like didn't hit me until like maybe a year ago or something like that. Like, no, it hit me like early March when I started going over to my grandma's house.
During COVID?
Who lost my grandpa. So like she's a widow and she's just like chills out there. Just that's
You're painting the house, the garage.
Yeah, I painted my grandma's garage, and like I was just talking to her, and like, you know, I definitely like as a 16-year-old kid, you're just like, I hate going to grandparents. Like, at least I did. I was just like, we're just, you know, they're not fun. They don't do anything. It's just like, we used to go see grandpa, and I tell him that I'm doing good in school, and I'm still playing piano, and I'll see you at my next piano recital or whatever. And like, but it was never like, you know, I never got to know him, you know? And so I definitely regret that. Like now knowing like just like getting closer with my grandma and stuff, and like, I was just like, damn, that's kind of just like stupid of me. Because I always hated, my grandma lived in California. She would come over every Easter. She'd come for like a month in like April or March. She'd come over 1 month, and she'd stay with all the relatives in Minnesota. Basically, like my mom grew up in California, but then everyone moved to Minnesota just because my grandpa got a job. So then like all my family lives in Minnesota besides my grandma. She wanted to stay out in California because my grandpa and grandma got divorced. Right. So it's just my grandma in California, but she comes over for once a month. And she would always stay in my damn room, and she smoked cigarettes like a motherfucker.
You're right, I remember you saying that.
And she would stay in my damn room because I was the youngest, so I'd always get kicked out down to the couch. And I just remember I would always come back after she stay a week in our house, and we'd go on to the next relatives. But she would stay a week in our house, blah blah blah. I'd come back to my room, it would smell like fucking cigarettes. I'd be like, Grandma, all you do is smoke cigarettes and play your crosswords, and I die.
Stop. Smoke.
Yeah, literally. Stop. Going off of that, I think that's a perfect like opposite sides of like your experience with grandparents and my experience with grandparents, because it's like ever since I know and I'd grown up, we'd go to church on the weekends, you know, and then we'd go to my grandma's house at the end for dinner. And so they're so involved, which is weird to think, because like now like my grandma gets mad at me if I don't call her every other week. And it's like it's kind of weird because I always felt like, oh, this is normal. You know what I mean? And then it was actually kind of messed up in my head for a while, because then other people were like, yeah, I only see my grandma, you know, once a year, my grandparents once a year. And I was like, what? Like I see them every, like maybe 3 times a week, you know, like they're just, my mom's family, my dad's family is just so involved that's what it is. And so it's very intriguing to me, this, like, I wonder how mine is going to be. You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be like my parents going to be really involved? Like, I don't know I don't think I'm going to live in North Dakota, and I don't think they would move. I think they would move to a different city in North Dakota, but I don't think they would move out of North Dakota. So it's like my kids would definitely see less of my grandparents, right?
Right.
Or like my parents rather. And so it's really weird to like just different situations, but I want them to value their grandparents. Not saying that you didn't value them.
No, I definitely did value.
No, yeah, 100%.
Like when I was like whatever.
But it takes time though.
Yeah,
no,
it definitely takes time.
It takes a lot of time, especially if you don't see them often. And so like I want my kids to value them, but it's like I have to position myself in the, like for location standards so that they can easily see him, because I'm not going to ask my parents to like, yo, come down for the weekend. It's 1,000 miles away. You're not doing anything this
and
weekend.
even on the other side of the coin, you don't want to drive 1,000. Yeah, it's just like travel is just like costly and just like
Right.
it's just a big hurdle to jump through.
Right. And so it's like even Jamin's family, like they're close to their like especially Marguerite and Jamin and Nate. And so like they would go over there all the time and still there. And like Marguerite knows us as friends. Like it's weird. Like she knows her grandson's friends that's how frequent we are. And so it's like, I don't know. I would enjoy having these family dinners, except for me, you know, like if they're just meeting for Christmas or Thanksgiving, like, okay, great, you know what I mean? But I'd love them to enjoy my parents, you know, as I know them. It's just not hearing from stories. But I don't know if that's feasibly possible, you know?
Yeah, I think that is a big thing to take into account. I mean, especially with a lot of our careers, like a lot of like entertainment stuff, like is not here.
Yeah, and even right, if you wanted to go up, it's traveling then. You know, even if you try keeping yourself in one spot, then it's like, well, then you need to be moving all the time,
right?
For sure. No, but it's also part of the times too. You know, I mean, we're moving away from the let's have grandma over this weekend.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
wait a minute, it's not Thanksgiving. Why? What? Something wrong? Is she sad or something? You know, like why is grandma coming over? You know, but yeah, we just don't get it, and it's.
Were you that way too, Nick? Or were you really close with your grandparents or no?
So my grandparents, my dad's parents, are like a 6-7 hour drive north, so they're way up in the boonies. They got a cabin up there. So there's two things that happen with that though. One, you don't see them that often, but two, when you do,
you go to the cabin in the summer.
The cabin in the summer, cabin at Christmas, whatever it is, it was always great.
Huh,
no matter when you went, it was
right.
like we get to be there. You get to go to the lake. You get to do whatever. Like that's what always made it awesome.
Yeah, I think that's also special. It's like, oh, seeing grandma and grandpa is like a treat.
Exactly.
Like oh, it's always fun. Or
Exactly.
Like, yeah. So
Right.
then you view it more that way.
Right. But yet, I don't think it's better or worse, because then my mom's parents, who were also divorced, are still in Owatonna. They're still in town. But, you know, we still, you know, hey, let's watch the game. Hey, coming over for birthday. Hey, you know, whatever. Like, it's just more constant.
Yep.
Which, yeah, is not better or worse. It's just like, oh, this is a different relationship.
Yes.
And yeah, she would be, because she's there. Obviously, she's going to the band concerts. She's going to the choir concerts or whatever, which obviously created more memories, you know, because then she could be there. But yeah, it's a different, very different than a, hey, we're going for Christmas, and that will be the one time you see them.
Right.
You know.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Since my grandpa died, my grandma, the one that lives in Minneapolis, has definitely been coming to a lot more stuff, and has definitely become more involved. Just because like my mom is just very worried that she has like nothing to do, just to do anything with the time.
There's a one thing that I will say about my grandma that's in town that I definitely understand and admire is the idea of I could write everybody a pretty decent check when I go on the will, or I could spend it now and watch you enjoy it. So it's this idea of, you know, one of the big things in high school when every kid went through high school was, I'm going to buy you your letter jacket. You know, because that was a decent chunk of change as a kid. You're like, oh, it's
$200.
$200. Yeah, you're like, that's great. That's
Yeah, thanks, grandma.
exactly. So, and that philosophy, again, it's just like, it's so weird to think about now because we've already gone past that stage of like, oh, you're the little kid and go hug grandma. You're like, why am I hugging grandma? You know, like what's the reason?
Right.
But now we're in this moment where we can't even comprehend, but we think we can, of like, what is it going to be when we're the grandpa?
Yep.
And there's that little kid there when we're like, I know they don't want to hug me, but goddamn, I love it. You know, like,
Right.
like it's just, man.
It's so weird because like on my one side, my grandpa and grandma, my dad's mom and dad, they have it's double digits great grandkids now, and like even grandkids, they have a lot of kids too, and it's like the idea of your kid having a kid. it just is beyond me. And like, and my grandparents were definitely on my dad's side and my grandma's side. Like, obviously on my mom's side we're the only kids, but on my dad's side there's a lot of grandkids, and they gave a lot of money. They still do. And I'm like, how? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to be at that position where you're giving money, every Christmas, every birthday, some sort of money, and then at the end of it, they gave every grandkid a decent sum of money,
Right. Just
once
like,
they turned 18.
Well, yeah.
And then it's like, what? Like, how? Like, that's so beyond me, because they've been retired ever since when I was born. Like literally when my dad was married, they were retired. And it just is crazy to me that, like, I would love to be the grandparent that, like, provides for my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, but it's like, maybe it's past that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah, good luck with that. We don't have any Social Security left.
yeah, literally.
Sorry,
and
bud.
We're
and
working
obviously,
until we're dead.
All I know is I own a quarter of a farm in Nebraska.
That's
just
awesome,
Oh
Teddy.
my God, that's amazing.
farmed by a bunch of random guys.
I mean, I've told you guys about the story about my grandpa, about how he bought a property on the
East Coast,
corner
West
of
Coast, right?
Nebraska. I was gonna combine
Corner.
Nebraska,
Sell it now.
Nebraska
Sell it
and
now.
Nevada, but no, he bought land on the border of Nevada, on the border of Nevada, bordering California, because he has this theory that California is going to drop into the ocean, and he'll have beachfront property.
I heard that one before.
Like, my uncle, like, recently just went out and, like, surveyed the property, and, like, he was just, like, looking at it and stuff, and it's like, it's nothing. There's nothing there. There's, like, one neighbor, and they knocked on the door, and they greeted him with a shotgun, the classic. But yeah, there's nothing there, and I don't know what my grandpa was thinking. Maybe it's just gonna, California's gonna cookie cutter itself, and then just fall off. But
not in our
I
lifetime.
feel like
probably.
the next, they'd probably start, filling soil over the sand before the
True.
whole state drops. You know what I mean? Like,
He creates
I
a
feel like
porch
they'll
on
try to create-
the desert.
so yeah,
there's
there's just some property in Nevada that my mom owns 1/3 of. I think both of the sisters, my mom's one of three, gave the property to my uncle just so he can do whatever the hell he wants with it.
a will is a mess.
Will is
I
a will
feel
is a
like
will.
I remember as a kid, I was probably about 8, 7, going in to sign. I was probably about 8 after my grandpa died with my grandma. Signing something for a will. I went in there 3 times and I signed 3 papers,
I've never done that.
and I signed.
Wait a
It
minute.
was weird though.
What am I doing?
I didn't know what's going on. I asked, like, what's going on? Just sign your name.
So
right
just sign the
there.
name, bitch.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's very weird.
And now
because,
you're a
like,
federal agent.
Oh, congrats.
Wow.
I just wonder, not that, like, I'm wondering what's in the will, but I'm just wondering, like,
When you're 18, don't you have, like, can't you look at it? Like, what you got? What your inheritance
I
is?
don't want to look at it. I feel bad.
I think
don't
you
know why.
shouldn't look at it.
No,
wait
yeah.
until it happens.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly. But not that I'm getting it like that. That's not what I'm trying to portray here. But I think I was going along the lines of that, like, when I'm of that age, I have to create a will, even though, like, people create a will, like, at age 30 or something, age 40,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
if they're married to someone. Like, how do I decide of who gets what?
I think that's a big contention in my family. I think my Kelsey, my older sister, was telling me that one Christmas everyone was getting drunk, and then Kelsey was just like telling me about how different grandchildren in my grandpa's will have a different percentage.
Yeah.
And I was like,
No.
I was like, what?
No, literally, no,
Oh,
literally.
no.
That's so relatable, because if you have so
Oh,
many
God.
grandchildren, you can't split something, like, evenly all the ways. So I wonder what they're deciding, like, oh, this kid came to my house more than the other kid, which it wasn't really their incentive, it was just the parents. So it's like, I just don't. It's literally, it's so mind-boggling, and then also it creates so much drama when
Well,
that family member dies. You know what
Again,
I mean?
it's their decision.
It is their decision. You want to fulfill it, but it always seems like it just doesn't seem like these people get mad, like, oh, I should get this, or I should have gotten that, and it's
Well,
like,
yeah.
this person's freaking dead.
Right.
Like, let's mourn about
Exactly,
that
dude,
instead of
yeah.
opening the will 2 weeks later, and, like, or whatever, summertime.
But we know that Tony on Survivor said the $1 million was worth his father's death.
Yeah, amen. He said on
And
my,
you know
on my
what? I might
wife
as well
and
get that
children. He
tattooed
said,
right on my
do you even
chest,
have
you
a
know?
wife and children?
Like, oh my gosh, like that's just this. It's beyond. And on the other side of the coin, my parents. It took them was it recently this past year to get a will. Like my grandparents have had a will probably solidified. My grandpa and grandma have already had their tombstone freaking picked out. And they already want to be cremated. You know, like they've already decided. You know,
Well,
60.
okay, but
60.
again, here's the thing: once you're in the land of retirement, that's just a thought you have to have. You know,
Yeah, so
when
you're
you're
taking care
not
of
doing,
business.
you're like, okay, it's just my hobbies and my family. You know, like that's all I got now. You know,
Their
what am
thought
I
is
providing
less
to the
stress.
world?
I wonder
Right?
what hobby I'm going to pick up.
I bet
Whittling.
it's like less stress. You know why they want
Soap
to do it.
whittling.
Oh, wonderful. Soap.
It's a soap carving.
Soap, nice.
Look at this rubber ducky.
And that's
It always is.
So now we'll go around the room and just pick out the coolest thing you're gonna get from your inheritance.
I don't know what I'm going to get for my inheritance. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'll get a
John already got it.
Yeah,
John already
He
got his
said this-
2018 Toyota.
He
and
said
he's about to get a
the Tesla
2020 Lincoln.
Cybertruck. He said,
It's
I'll
a
take
Cybertruck. The
pre-order
boxy
right
one?
now. Yeah, the boxy one.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
just
because I'm the
remember-
grandchild. And there's
And
only
it looks
two
like it's like
grandchild.
from an N64 game.
Yeah.
It looks,
Right,
it looks
right.
like a Halo like Warthog.
Yeah.
Literally.
They
It's
have
the
to make
ugliest
one of
thing
those.
ever.
Oh, I don't remember what year it was. Whenever my grandpa Vitaliano,
Let's go.
whenever she had the
Kick the can.
just kick the can. My dad, like it had to get shipped up here, all that kind of stuff. It's this big like mahogany or something like that. Just this lion with like a stand it's on
Alright.
too, and it's
Nice.
like the story is like my grandparents were just like in Africa or something, just doing whatever, because like he used to.
Casual.
Did he go on
Yeah.
safaris? Did he kill? Did your grandpa kill some zebras?
I don't think so.
Lions
I
are
couldn't-
elephants.
Elephants, you know, the
Totally.
ivory.
Was
Like,
he a
it's
legal
helping the
ivory tusk?
community.
I think it's like he used to work in like Iran or Iraq
What
or
the
something
hell?
like that.
God.
Teddy,
Like,
who are
okay,
you?
hold on,
Get
hold on,
out of
listen,
my
we
lobby.
gotta
Get out of
save
my
this
lobby.
part.
We
That's
have to
fine.
save. We have to save this arc because I want to dive into
This
this.
is true.
Okay.
And we're already ripping an hour.
And we definitely are. So
No,
I
yep.
think
Anyways,
More
I
than
think
anything.
I think I'll end up getting a wooden lion from my grandpa.
That'd be
great.
cool.
What am I?
I think more than anything, why wills are fun. Your grandparents are better. So tell them you love them.
Easily.
Give them a call.
I agree.
Definitely say
And
hi
subscribe to
your
Looney Bin.
And subscribe to Looney Bin.
Okay,
Tell
so
them
Looney-
to subscribe. You know,
LooneyBin
really.
Podcast.
Just do it
Now
for
that
them.
we're closing this episode kind of abruptly, but we need to end it there because we got some arcs starting here. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Music.
Mhm. That's it.
Apple Music. We're on YouTube on LooneyBin Creative, and our recent episodes, 3 episodes, are updating right now onto there. So soon there'll be more content out there. LooneyBin Productions, by the way, we got a lot of gigs rolling, so we gotta balance it out and what we need to do, and we got a lot of good things in the works here for the production side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, if you ever want to do a job or a gig, you have something that you want to record audio, record video for, hit us up on our Instagram, LooneyBin Productions, or LooneyBin Creative.
Or just email looneyBinbusiness@gmail.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and that's full business.
Full business. And then at the end of the video, we'll have a little, it'll be
Yeah.
in the description below.
Yep.
So any way you want to contact us. But, yeah, we're just looking for some solid, honest work. And we put really good content out there. And,
Well, we get her done.
And you're watching it.
yeah, and you're watching it right now.
So-
But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. And
Signing off. Tell your grandparents you love them. Thanks for tuning in.
And kiss your Taekwondo
we'll
teacher
see.
goodnight.
Yeah,
Yep.
kiss your,
And turn
Right,
on
right.
Love
Hand in the
yeah.
belt.
Turn on Love Island, and we'll see you next week on Wednesdays at
Oh,
10.
and also the Bucks one. I called it. All right, only one. Thank
yeah, thank you. It's been a while.
you. Brady's magic.